Welcome back to the Ranch Hand Show, where we talk about all things Bob, barbells, outdoors, and brotherhood. Just a disclaimer, I should have said in the first episode, but we are not professional therapists or anything. These are just our personal ideas that come to mind as we talk. So nothing we say here is doctrine if we're talking about gospel or anything like that. We're just stating our own personal opinions. But I'm one of the hosts, Noah, and my other co-hosts are my brother Josh Taylor and our dad Stephen Taylor.
Hola.
So we're gonna switch it up for this is how we're gonna structure our podcast from now on. Start with a debrief of just kind of what we did this past week and how anything relating to Bob went. Let's start with the oldest, I guess, first. So, Dad, how was your week?
So a few things I try to do, I'm trying to eat cleaner and kind of plan out meals more. So I'm trying to lose weight, unlike you guys. And I did pretty good that way, but workouts I did really bad on this week. I did do more cardio, which I usually don't do, but I've done cardio pretty good. And then I did go to my boxing sparring thing, which was good. But yeah, as far as weights, didn't hit the barbells much this week. Kind of gave in to the bad beast of, being tired, started the week off on call. Excuse anyway. So planning on doing better next week.
It's okay. I didn't do that well this week either. I can make the excuse that there are people in town or whatever it was, but I just didn't. I don't know. I did have to go do a thing for the military, and that took way longer than I was anticipating. I thought it was gonna be like an hour thing. It turned into like a 5 hour thing, so that was
What was it?
I had to go do get fingerprinted and take a test. I thought a test, but I had to take three tests, and then I had to say an oath, and then I had to um, get fingerprinted. And actually, funny story with that. Some guy, if he ever watches this, some guy in the Navy recruiter office actually gave me his pants because you can't wear shorts when you say an oath. Learned that the hard way. So some guy let me borrow his pants, which was super nice of him, because I was in shorts. So it was eventful, but yeah, it took way longer. And then we had people over this weekend. So if you can't tell, I'm a little sunburnt. My chest is really red from we went to a water park. So yeah, but workout wise, I went like twice this week, but I did do a decent amount of push-ups this week to try and compensate for that. But running and swimming kind of took a back seat. So, all right, to the youngest.
Josh, your update, debriefing for your week.
Hmm. Um, I worked out every day this week. Um, and I had a football game on Thursday. Didn't win, but you don't win them all.
True.
Uh,
How did you feel like you played?
I thought I played pretty good for what much as I'd say, but it's not just me that it's a team, so we all have to play good in order for a result to be good. But we're learning from our mistakes and should win this week.
Well, let's hope so. Figure it out. Okay, cool. Well, this week we decided, I guess, to talk about masculinity versus toxic masculinity. So I'm curious because now it's very different than I assume when you were our age, Dad. Would you say were considered masculine like actors?
Probably people like um or masculine movies, like Braveheart was a masculine movie. So Mel Gibson was a masculine actor. Um, Probably Rambo was a masculine movie. So Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, The Terminator. Those are all masculine dudes. There was even a masculine cartoon called He-Man, which was like this big old muscular guy that wielded a sword against Skeletor.
Hmm. Josh, what are you to say our modern day masculine man is in movies?
Hmm. Superman.
Which one?
Mm, like not the newest one, but like
The one
when
before?
he had his original like normal suit, like like
The one
the
with the one with what's his name?
Henry Cavill?
yes,
Yeah, Cavill.
him. Let me look.
Man of
Yeah, that's
Steel, I'm assuming is the one you're talking about.
yeah, Henry Cavill.
Yes, him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that
Yeah.
dude's a beast, yeah.
Yeah, I can get behind that. Henry Cavill. I was trying to think of another one, but I guess I'll give Chris Hemsworth one too. If we're talking like Extraction or something like that from on Netflix. I like those ones. Um, but yeah. So, Dad, how would you say you define what it means to be masculine?
Um, I think it's the strength to do what's right, even when it's like a bother. That's a masculine thing to do where you know and you do what's right and you're not afraid to do that. That's what a masculine man is. And if it takes physical fitness, if it takes religion, if it takes relationships, it's
Hmm.
being responsible and kind of not being hesitant, letting somebody else step up and do it.
What about you, Josh?
Um, I'd say just like being being like a man that does what a man should do, and like I don't. Mm,
What's a word you would use to describe a masculine man in your opinion, Josh? Could be a trait, characteristic,
hardworking, but
hard
not
worker.
not like braggy about it or anything.
So humble, a
Humble,
humble hard
humble.
work. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, like I was scouring the internet for some guys who are say they're hardworking and they are not humble at all and have a little bit of a misconception, I think, of what it means to actually be a masculine person. So I thought it'd be fun. I've got a few videos that I think would be interesting to have you guys sit through and um, we can get your guys' opinion on them because I think these guys are,
We get to see what rabbit holes Noah's been going down this week.
yeah. So I, like I said, I apologize in advance that you guys have to watch these because some of them you're just like, these guys have got some serious issues. So I'm gonna share. So we'll start with this guy. This guy's name is King Azuli. Um,
Maybe we should not put guys up there that can beat the crap out of us.
he is like 5 foot.
Yes.
Oh, oh, that was really loud. He's like
Oh,
five
I've
foot.
seen this guy before.
Yeah. So Josh will know some of these, I think, but this guy, he's like 5'5" or something. He's really short. And his big thing is he's like, oh, I was did all this stuff for
F student.
Israel and like all these other things, and like I'm this basically the assassin, but he's actually like,
He's
anyways.
like
He's part of
he's the
Mossad.
guy. He's the guy that's like all the F students
Yep. So we're gonna watch that
are
part, Josh.
are
You'll see.
leaders. A students are like workers or something.
Yeah, no, Josh knows exactly what is going on. So we're gonna watch these. Can you hear this?
Not yet.
Yeah.
No. You can?
Well, play it again. You need to stop talking.
Okay, ready? I'm gonna stop talking for a second.
Not hearing it.
No.
All right, so it's
I
that
gotta go
thing.
back to that thing again.
Yeah, I know. Uh,
Technical difficulties.
it's a good thing I can edit all this. Okay.
Don't edit it. It's all real.
Yeah, we're all about the real stuff.
Yeah, we're
Uh,
about solving real problems.
how did I do this last time?
You go in the share part
Oh,
and
share computer sound.
yeah,
Okay. Ready? So this guy, yeah. So his big he was I guess also he was anyways, he's not a great guy, but
right,
we're
that's right.
gonna
Explained to me that the strongest part of the body is actually your skull. And if you train your skull for about an hour a day, bang it against the wall, after a year it becomes 4 times thicker than it really is. Which means that you become unstoppable, indestructible. You could punch them, you could kick them in the head. All they have to do is turn the head to wherever you're hitting, and they will break any bone in your body.
People look at me as soon as I walk in and they're like, who is this guy?
I'm gonna speed it up just a smidge, just a little slow.
I look like I'm going to hurt somebody. I don't look like I walk into a place and I'm just coming to have a good time. I'm coming to eat lunch. When I walk in, it's like I'm literally going to hurt somebody.
From that point on, my dad knew he couldn't take us. Now he's 13. He picked up a stick, a wooden stick, and he went to hit me over the head, and I did this, and it broke.
And then I took it out of his hand,
threw it on the floor, kicked him in the leg, picked him up, and threw him on the coffee table.
Coffee table broke in half. That's the beauty that we are actually superhuman. We just don't unlock these genes because we don't put our body and our mind through the pressure. There's something called microfractions. Little microfractions that you cause by hitting the bone, thickens the bone. I used to sit there and hit my shins with a hammer all fucking day.
I think F students are the creators of the world. I was a high school dropout,
But I also got kicked out of 17 schools in total. But I never let school get in the way of my education.
Because I don't believe in school.
A students are my #1 employees. B are my managers. The C, those are the ones that are like almost an owner on the verge of becoming a business owner
To being a manager. And then you have the D, that those are business owners. Yeah.
And then you have the F's, and the F are the ones.
That create new inventions for the world.
and change the world. Change the world completely.
Your girlfriend cheated on you? Yes! You crashed your car? Yes! Great. No matter what happens, everything, just say yes. Thank you, God. Another chapter to life. Let me karate chop the shit and move forward. This is the kind of mindset that you need to have. And if you have that mindset, there's nothing that can stop you.
After many years of training my
Okay, so that's one of them. We're gonna get there's a few more of this guy that I think would be.
So do we want
Well, look, we're gonna watch each one
this-
first. We're
this
gonna watch
guy?
all their stuff. Yeah, so we're gonna watch all their
to?
stuff.
Is this the same guy?
Yeah, same guy. So I've
Yes.
got a few more for
Ended
him.
up beating the out of like 5 of them. And the boss, he took out a gun, put a
This
guy
is one of
into a
his-
fight, and
I guess disclaimer, this is one of his stories of um and in some of his interviews, timeline stuff doesn't add up. But anyways, he just kind of makes stuff up. But this
out
is
of
one
like
of them.
5 of them. And the boss, he took out a gun, put it to my head, told me to stop fighting, and I told him to me. And he saw in my eyes that something was going on. I thought I was gonna die. He told me, I'm not gonna you, I just want you to stop. And he looked me in the eyes and he realized I was a young boy. He pulled his gun down, put it in his pants, told me, come, I wanna talk to you. He said, if you wanna me, you can me in here. You don't need to go outside. Normally, if you tell somebody, come, we're gonna take a walk, somebody's coming back, not walking. So, he tells me, I'm not gonna do anything to you, I just wanna talk to you. When we went outside, he talked to me like a dad. He asked me how old I was, I said 15. He asked me what I was going through. I felt like it was a safe place for me to say it. And then he told me, he said, you know what, you're an incredible fighter. I think you should be fighting for me. But more than that, I wanna be like an older brother for you.
You joined his team.
Yeah, I became one of the guys in the I was named the Kid, and it was the Russian mob. It's called the Red Mob. I started fighting underground fights.
Wow, that's tight.
Okay, and then I got one more of this guy. This one is really ridiculous.
Nobody in this world should be allowed to get married being under the influence of love. People never think about this, but open your mind for 1 second and tell me that I'm wrong. Are you allowed to drive under the influence of alcohol? Why would you be allowed to make such a big decision and be able to get married, sign a contract in the time when you're in love? You would do things that you would never do if you weren't in love. That should be illegal. Get out of being in love. Start just loving, and in that time you can get married. We need to pass a
Okay, so that's That is King Azuli. So Josh has seen him before, but I'll get Dad, what are your thoughts on King Azuli and some of his what he thinks is masculine or what you should be doing as a man?
Well, I mean, you know, trying to make your skull harder, there's no, I mean, from my perspective, that doesn't, I mean, that doesn't happen. It's not like you can make your skull harder. Uh, I mean, bone probably will calcify. What happens is if you're breaking it and stuff, it's probably in the end getting weaker. But um, it's not like those hogs that we shot in Texas where they sit and they rub and scrape on their sides so they're impenetrable. You know, that happens there as it gets callous and scarred. But I don't think that happened to your head. You become Cro-Magnon man. So I don't know if that's good advice as far as you're going to get tougher by hitting your head. But, you know, if he's saying do hard things and don't shy away from stuff, then I'll give him a benefit of the doubt. You know, I'll say, hey, yeah, I think in life that real men don't shy away from doing hard things. But he's saying that, you know, you do it so that nobody can knock you out, which, yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that. Um, so as far as the relationship stuff with love, you know, I mean, it's obviously he's talking like he's probably done some stupid stuff and was more, he's not talking about love, he's probably talking about lust. And you probably shouldn't like make decisions like marriage, especially if you're not open-eyed in relationships. And so I give him the benefit of the doubt. If you're love dumb and you're not seeing things completely clearly, when you're deciding to get married, uh, you should have both eyes open while you're dating, um, and make it a decision that you just, you know, my advice is if the person you're with, I've told you guys all this, if she makes you want to be a better person and you really like the person you are, which I like I didn't have fears when I was dating your mom. I didn't have fears in the relationship. You know, I had confidence. I knew that I could take care of her. All those things were things that made her more attractive to me just because I I felt it brought out more manly qualities in me that I thought were real man qualities, and that's why I made that decision actually. So you know, I mean, he's got some half truths, maybe half truths.
Yeah.
He's
Josh,
he's got a
since
different way, he's got a different way of saying it, but he's got some half truths.
all right. Josh, you've seen him before. What are your initial thoughts or thoughts on him?
Um, most I definitely most of the stuff he's saying is not true. It's I know it's a lot of that's not a lie, but like the like the school thing, you need you need to go to school to get smarter. We all know that, but like at the same time, like the kids that I feel like the kids that do like bad in classes also do like they have to think more than a person who, well, in my opinion, they have to like think more than a person that gets A's. And I'm saying, well, you should be an A student, but like at the same time, uh, since they don't learn that much from like actually going to school, they have to use their own like mind and imagination and stuff to help them get through life. But I don't know if all everything that he said about that's necessarily true, but like I don't know. I sort of get the point he's making, but
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
mostly everything he's saying is not true.
yeah.
yeah,
No, I agree. I think a lot of, I mean, you don't have to be an A student to succeed in life. Like school work doesn't necessarily transfer to like everyday life or anything like that. That's for sure. But I do think it is important to have an education of some kind because just things you would not like learn if you didn't like I would not know anything about counting or anything like that if I did not go to school because that's just not something. I mean, yeah, you can have a budget and stuff, but you don't actually understand. I still don't understand accounting, but you just wouldn't, there's just some things you would miss out on that schools do provide if you don't pursue it. But yes, people can, I think if you can find the message of, okay, yes, like even if you're not great in school, you can still, there is the ability to succeed in life still. I can agree with that point.
Yeah, I think that schools nowadays um, are um, to do well in school, you have to be able to just regurgitate what the teacher wants. I mean, it's different. Like if you do a science something hard, like subjects like math and things like that, you learn rules and everything, but then they teach you how to think and put rules together. So you can't. I mean, there's some memorization with that, but most of school and most people that get straight A's are are folks that you know um,
They can
they
just regurgitate.
can regurgitate exactly what the teacher wants them to do.
Yeah.
Now, I think the real people, the real thing is, yes, you've got to do at certain level, you've got to do well in school just to do things. I think the most important thing, and the reason why you don't need necessarily college or something, is you should be autodidactic, which means you are a self-taught individual. There's a lot of those out there, and you can learn. I mean, you don't have to be told. If you wanted to learn about accounting, yeah, it's smart to go to somebody that hopefully knows and can teach it. But you could learn it on your own. You get a book and read it, and there's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of people that, some of the most successful people don't have degrees. You look at the three biggies, Elon Musk and Bill Gates and these guys and Zuckerberg. They're all college graduates. They obviously had good grades in high school because they went to the best schools. I think Bill and Zuckerberg were both Harvard guys. I don't know about Elon, but they taught themselves. They didn't need somebody else to teach them. I think most of us do better, and it's a lot easier and quicker if we can just have somebody else feed it to us. But at some point in your life, it's just a matter of teaching yourself. So you know, um, A students are really good about doing exactly what somebody tells you to do, by and large, and they can be very smart too. Um, Anybody can be an A student. All they have to do is decide that's what they want to do and put the work into it, no matter their brain power. Some people, it's a lot easier. It wasn't necessarily easier for me. I had to study quite a bit to get good grades. And you have to put a lot of time into it. So, I mean, that's just different. But yeah, I mean, and then there's those people that just, they hear it once and they don't have to study at all, right? Um,
Yep. No, I agree. It's you should be able to teach yourself um and whatnot. So, but okay, this next guy, we're getting to the OG of the modern masculine man. Good old Andrew Tate. All right, let me make sure my sound.
should be should be right.
Yep, just checking. All right, so this one I'll kind of scroll through this one, we'll see, but we kind of pick and choose them. But yeah, this is Andrew Tate. Dad, have you ever heard of Andrew Tate?
He's the guy that lives in Hungary or something.
I don't even know where he lives, but he has.
No.
Oh, he doesn't. Okay.
But Andrew Tate is kind of. I mean, there's some things he says that I'm like, okay, I can get behind, but for the most part, I mean, he's not a great guy. Well, a lot of these guys aren't. They're just not really good people in general. And so we'll watch some of Andrew
He's
Tate's
he's
stuff.
he's a misogynist, right? He's really like anyway.
Yeah, he comes off that way for sure. So we're gonna watch just a few of these clips.
I'm not a bad person, but I'm a quick person. Most people are slow and stupid. I'm fast. There was no hurt people in wheelchairs trying to use this space in those 45 seconds it took me to buy this. So no one loses. But last time I took one of these spaces, someone goes, "Excuse me, are you disabled?" And I replied, "I'm excellent." And their face was like,
breathe air. You don't need a vape. Have you ever seen anyone with a vape? Have you ever sat in a room? So we go, wait, let me just go. My vape's done charging. Load it up. I mean, I smoke cigars, but I know what the fuck I'm doing. Give me a big fat cigar. I'm risking cancer to look like a mafia boss. Fine. I'm not sitting there smoking cigars and going, I can't believe this is bad for me. No, like these fucking vape bullshit children. You ain't got time.
Not have sons who are too busy buying NFTs and say, "Oh, I made a little bit of money," and have skinny little arms and go to crypto conventions and be dorks. I will not have nerds as children. I refuse to have a nerd carry the name Tate. If my son is a nerd, one of us has to die, him or me, and I'll challenge him to Mortal Kombat.
Jesus Christ.
Imagine one day you're sitting in Paris, you're sitting there having a fucking coffee, and terrorists roll through with AKs, and the person next to you has their brains blown out. You're gonna stand there and be like, waiting to die like a motherfucker. I'm gonna be like, bang, oh, I've seen that before. Okay, boom, boom, duck and dive in, take one terrorist out, next get the AK, go Rambo. I don't play games. My flight's delayed, but it's no big deal. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Do you have salt?
Yes, of course I do.
Perfect. But when my flight's delayed, it's not like when your flight's delayed. I'm not with a bunch of peasants in a peasant holding area with a tiny Starbucks somewhere in the corner.
I like the color.
You like the color?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had mixed reviews on the color. Some people said they like it, some people said they don't like it, and I said, well, what color's your Bugatti?
What color's your Bugatti?
Oh, fuck off then. I come home. My 4 wives are sitting there. They've seen on the news there's a new deadly contagion. Andrew, you need to wear a new deadly contagion. I pick up my sword. I am the commander of this house. I decide if there's a contagion. I decide what I do. Be quiet. Cook.
Yeah, so those are just a few of Andrew. Those aren't even some of his most viral, but those are just a few of Andrew Tate's stuff. So, Josh, we'll have you go first. What are your thoughts on Andrew Tate?
He does live in Romania.
Okay, yeah.
Romania.
Yeah.
So, Josh, what do you think of Andrew Tate?
I feel like he like the stuff he says in a sense kind of makes a little bit of sense, but the way he lets it out is not like the right way, and he takes things too far sometimes too. Like, I don't know. I feel like some of his points are good, sort of. It's just he does too much, I guess.
Like, which ones do you think were good?
Huh?
Which ones did you think were good?
I don't even really remember any of the ones you just watched.
The one that where he parks in disabled parking, or he tells his wife with the sword, "This is my house. You do what I say."
Yeah, he's got some there are
He has things that are good and things that are bad.
a lot of things he says, yes, I don't agree with, but they're like once in a while. It's like anything, like once in a while you'll hit the mark and say something that's like good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Andrew Tate. Dad, what are your thoughts on Andrew Tate?
So he's definitely I think he's being charged with like human trafficking and stuff. This guy's
This was a while ago and it didn't go through or anything.
It didn't.
No, it didn't.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I don't think he likes women. That's from what I can see there. And I think I think he's trying to be all that, but I don't think, I think he's really missing the mark, actually. Way more than head butter. That dude was closer. I think.
Yeah, no, he does not. He definitely views women more as something to please him and more of a um yeah, a lot of things he says is very much, yeah, that's why everyone says he's a misogynist because he of what he how he says stuff, and then also yeah, he thinks of women as more objects. But okay, so
And
this
he's just out there trying to, he's driving the car. He thinks he's better than everybody else. That's the problem.
yeah,
He cares about no one but himself. That's
yeah,
what I take from it. And
yeah,
I
He
think
cares
that's,
about his brother.
yeah,
true.
maybe, but there's more than that. I mean, I think real men care about any type of injustice to anybody, even if they don't know them.
I think he just thinks everybody needs to be like have as much money as him or be as like rich as him, but he doesn't understand that like it's not that easy for everyone to just get in the place where he is in his life and stuff. I don't know.
That's a lot of the things you'll see, what kind of what Josh was saying about be rich and things. All these guys are like, oh, you got to be like super wealthy, otherwise women aren't gonna want you, or like all these other things to and this, and that's how you're gonna be a masculine man. And a lot of them are selling like, oh, become a masculine man by my program, and that's basically what they're selling. But
They all sell courses and stuff.
yep, there are also courses of how to become a man,
Rich.
rich and a man. It's like, all right, well, nice quick get rich scheme going on
How
there.
to make $1 million before you turn 18. Something like that.
Yeah. So it's like stuff like that. You're like, okay. But anyways, okay, so this next guy, he I think just recently got sent back to prison. Um, for just trying to beat a dude up. So this is like a panel. So this guy right here, the bald guy with the beard, is the guy we're looking at. His name's Peggy Watson or something like that. So we'll watch the first little bit of this video. Oh, I muted it. Sorry.
If you're not, my definition of success is across the board. If you're not ripped, if you're not rich, if you ain't rare, if you don't stand out, if you ain't across the board successful, it doesn't mean fucking shit to me. If you got straight tits and you're in your Rolls Royce, you look like a fucking clown to me. I'm just laughing at your dumb fucking ass.
Okay.
But this is the whole fucking point. You have a weakness. Change it, motherfucker. How the fuck are you going to lead people if you don't realize your weakness is their way out? They're not going to listen to you. You're sitting there possessing shit that they don't want to have. So, I mean, this is what people say. Oh, it's not about the money. It's about family, Wes. It's about this, about that. Motherfucker, when you're making money, it's about the money. When it's family, it's about family. When you're at the gym, it's about muscle. Whatever you're doing, it's about that. There's no black and white life. It's the gray area. You have to be good at everything. That's the goal, to really excel in every area. And that's the worst thing about these motherfuckers. They try to give you relationship advice. You got a borderline Miami 2. That's like a fucking Mississippi 6. Don't give me relationship advice to my 10 when you got a 2, motherfucker. Shut up. But this whole thing. People don't think I'm going to put the measuring stick to their motherfucking face. They better just watch what they say around a motherfucker who's beating them in every area. You better have a bad bitch. You better be ripped. You better fucking be rolling some sick shit. That's what I like. I grew up hustling. There has to be rims on my goddamn Phantom. Go out front. That ain't normal Phantom. That's a Mansory Phantom. I don't have the normal shit. Fuck that.
So that's a lot of these guys. So he obviously is going off about, oh, you need money and stuff like that. But then in this second little part of this video, this is what happens when they get like a lot of these guys, when somebody disagrees or comes at them, this is kind of how they react. So
people around you, what's the point?
My definition of success is having a family, having children, and being part of the apparatus of the world. And true wealth is a rejection of materialism. As Christ said himself, what good does it benefit a man to gain the entire world at the cost of his soul? It's okay to have materialism. It's not against Christian ethics to become rich, become wealthy. But I just think it's all beside the point, ultimately. You're trying to go for a single thing, and it's to achieve something greater
Do you have
than
money?
the person.
Does he have money?
No,
Do you have money?
no, I don't
How
have.
much
I
money
don't
do you
have.
have?
I don't
Does he
have
have
money. But here's the thing. Why is money
much-
valuable?
How much do you have
Why?
money?
What is money valuable for?
I'm just asking. Do you have money?
I just said no. I'm broke. I'm a nobody.
No, but really, you are?
Yeah.
Is he really broke?
Yeah.
I just want to know. I have to know.
No, I'm
He's
not.
trolling.
I'm not one of these rich guys. I don't have a Bugatti. I don't have a Lambo. I don't have
I
a
just
Ferrari.
really have to know. Like, how much money you got?
Probably $5 in my pocket. Not much more.
See, can anyone answer for the guy?
Why do they think I'm kidding? I have a family. I take care of an entire family. That takes a lot of money.
He's doing all right.
Okay.
Now, me personally, I do think money's.
So yeah. Anyways, he's all obsessed with like, oh, it's about the money and all this stuff. But so, what did you think of Peggy Watson?
That's the guy's name.
Yeah.
His dad gave him that so that he has to fight, probably. So calling Peggy all his whole life.
Yeah.
You heard that song about the guy who named his kid Sue because he wasn't going to live there with him and he wanted him to grow up tough.
No,
You haven't heard that song?
I don't. I can't say that I have.
Anyway, yep, I'll have to play it for you next time. But yeah, he knew he wasn't going to be there as a dad, so in order for him to be tough, he named his son Sue.
Hmm.
Because he had other things he had to do. He was drunk and out partying, money. He didn't have enough time to be a dad.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's Peggy Watson. He's all about the money, and I'm pretty sure he has said like, my wife, if I was broke or something, I told her she better leave me. I'm like, what? That doesn't. It's a very like gold digger mentality, and like, why would you want to be around a person that's only with you if you're doing good and making lots of money? It just doesn't make sense in my brain.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think where was his wife when he wasn't making it, right? And what I guess if you're doing it, a lot of people think that money is power, and so it's attractive to men because men want to feel powerful, right?
Yeah.
So having a pretty wife, you feel powerful. Other guys are like, oh man, look at that dude. Having big muscles, you feel powerful, and that's not inherently bad. It's actually okay. But if the power gets to your head like it has this guy, he has no clue. I mean, this guy's probably going to lose everything.
Well, he went back to prison, so
So yeah, so he got money because when all you're thinking about is money, you're not being honest. You're cheating, you're doing everything you can to get it, and you have no moral compass, right? And so that catches up with you. That just catches up with you. But to his regard, it feels pretty hard. It's really hard as you get older if you can't take care of your family. You don't feel like a really good, you don't feel like a man, right? Inherently, some of the hardest times in my life when I was when I was poor and I had to ask for, like my father-in-law to help us out or whatever, I just felt like I just hated that. And it's okay. I mean, it's absolutely okay. I don't know. There's something in the fiber of your being that I think it's natural for a man to feel like he needs to be able to take care of his family.
yeah. I agree. I think there's just that desire in a lot of us. Um, I'm trying to decide. I don't know if I really want to show these. They're two brothers. Um,
So my question is for you guys, what do you think, like, I mean, when they say toxic masculinity, what are they talking about? I mean, actually, there's also toxic femininity, and they say when it's a woman's too feminine, like she's like doesn't work, she doesn't, she takes care of family, she's dresses, she's pretty all the time. I mean, and then she gets after people, women that aren't feminine. I mean, so what is it? I mean, what does it mean? Like not just masculine, but what is it when it gets toxic? Like that guy, that last guy was toxic, right?
Yeah, a lot of these guys are toxic. In my opinion, I think toxic masculinity is just ultimately it comes down to you are more worried about your own success to at the whatever it takes to for you to succeed, and like that can be good in certain situations. I should preface that like
That's hard.
wanting success and wanting to succeed is good. But when you allow it to change who you are and make you a worse person, then I think it becomes a problem, and that's when it becomes toxic. And so a lot of media pushes like Andrew Tate and things like that, and like this is what masculinity is. This is what modern masculinity is. It's so toxic. And it's like, okay, in reality, that's like a small percentage of men that are probably like that. But I mean, if you know, I don't know, you have a sixth grader who has a phone and has TikTok and is growing up watching these videos, and those are the things that are being pushed in their brain. Like that's what they're going to grow up. They'll be like, oh, well, I need to be a player. I need to make lots of money and, you know, take steroids so that way I can be jacked and all these other things. And that's what a masculine man is. And so that's what I think toxic masculinity is when you just allow the let go of who you are and really just become just a self-absorbed human being.
What about you, Josh?
Hmm. Um, Repeat the question.
What is toxic masculinity in your
No,
opinion?
Like when does masculinity get toxic?
thinking that you're better than somebody else and not being humble and basically putting others down so you can make yourself feel better about yourself.
Yeah, no, I think that's true. I think that's a good point. I didn't think about that. But yeah, making your using other people's failures as your success.
I think
Yeah.
toxic masculinity is anytime you're using it to potentially hurt other people. Like masculinity in every sense is like protecting, like willing to help even the lowest of persons, right? That's what masculinity is. It is built in us to kind of, I mean, naturally to want to protect, to um, help. And when it becomes to the point where it's turning and you're using all that power to hurt, then I think it's a problem.
Yeah. No, I
That's
agree.
toxic.
And obviously it goes both ways. There's toxic femininity and all that, but that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, no, I agree. I think it's when you are using, you're basically asserting power over someone or in a
Yeah.
not good way. Okay, I have just one more like toxic masculinity. So this, um, have you ever there's like all these things out there, like, all these guys are selling something about, oh, becoming rich at 13 or whatever it is. So this group, it's called The Project. And their whole thing is they're gonna change you into a man in like 72 hours or something, which is impossible because for you to change habits, it takes what, 30 days or something like that for you to have a new habit and have it become an actual habit.
Yeah. Something. Yeah. About that.
So, yeah, these guys say, oh, in 72 hours, we're gonna make you. And they're just like, I watched this one guy who reacted to this. He was a Green Beret, and he was talking about, he's like, this is nothing like in the military at all. So we'll just watch this brief little video, but
Gentlemen, welcome to the project. The project is a 75-hour experience. It's for men just like you who know that you're meant for more, who know that you might have areas in your life that you're not performing at your highest level. You know you've got greater potential, and there's a higher purpose for you here. The project is not an experience, it's also a process. It's like administering chemotherapy to a cancerous area of the body, and it's going to unearth and expose who you are. The physical challenging that you go through is purpose-driven. Every single evolution is purpose-driven. Every single evolution creates opportunity for four things: to lead, to show emotional discipline, to communicate, and to problem solve. So the project is here for a purpose, to help you become the man you know in your deepest heart that you're meant to be. And all we're going to do as instructors over the next 75 hours is administer the project. No different than a doctor would administer chemotherapy to a cancerous body part. You have to be able to control your emotions, because the moment you shut down and you let those thoughts come in and the self-talk begins, and the self-talk is never, yay, you got this. What did you do? Why did you sign up for this? This is harder than you think. So I want you to understand.
So anyways, they're just like, their big thing is, oh, we're gonna, do this whole thing and we're gonna make you the man in 75 hours and all this stuff. And some of the videos, I'm gonna show you that. So these are their instructors. Let me
You see
find
at the
them.
top of the page, it said it's closed down. The project is closed down.
Yeah, because well, they have you. I think it costs like $10,000 or something like that
Uh-huh.
to go to this thing. So one, this guy right here, the Bedros, how not even know how you say that name, Culinian or whatever. He's not even like seems like, oh, this is like a special forces selection thing, but he's not even in the special forces. This guy was U.S. Marine. I guess didn't actually do anything. Um, According to the Green Beret that I watched react to this guy, but this guy specifically, he's like cussing him out
The
and
facilitator of suffering, it says.
yeah. So he's like sitting there cussing him out and doing all this crap to him, and it's like, bro, what? This guy could be legit, former Marine Raider and Recon, and then former Navy SEAL, but I don't, but anyways. So yeah, I don't think you need to be spending tens of thousands of dollars to go and have these guys yell at you because and tell you're not masculine enough or anything like that. Like that just seems ridiculous to me.
I think why it's that we see so much of it out there now, this kind of stuff, is because um, they've been pushing this thing that across and saying any kind of masculine behavior, aggression, um, anything like that is toxic. And so men are like, looking for ways because they're just, they're not living happy lives. There's a lot of men out there that are just shells because they just kind of submitted to not listening to some of those things of, working hard and and sticking up for people and stuff like that. They just kind of, I mean, you look at the world today, and I remember that, yeah, on that bus, it was like a subway where this woman's totally began getting like berated and kind of, just she's being assaulted, and there's all these people sitting around just watching on their phones, and nobody does anything, right? Because they're scared into like, I mean, and it's scary. Like I said before, I think a real man has been portrayed a lot, and the standard for toxic has gotten down lower. So all these men are feeling suppressed, and so they're attracted to things like this. Like I totally want to do that because I'm not feeling what I need to.
Yeah. No, well, yeah. I was gonna go off about the like people watching on the train thing, but then that's well, that's like the whole legal thing. Everybody's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna get sued or something for trying to help somebody out," because it's like that whole the guy in the military who stop that one guy who was on the train in New York or whatever, and then he got
England, yeah,
arrested.
yeah.
So I think that's also part of that, but that was just kind of a side note. But yeah, no, I think well, I think it comes back to there's this weird love with specifically like Navy SEALs, especially and like their whole training process and stuff, and like that's why a lot of Navy SEAls have written books and things. I keep seeing videos about all these like Green Berets and stuff. Are like, dude, the Navy SEAls are just so frustrating sometimes. But there's just this infatuation with them. And so everybody, when they have like these 10,000 courses that you can, $1,000 courses that you can come to, and they'll just yell at you and stuff. It's like, well, that's not like what makes you a man. That's just like torturing yourself.
Yeah, I mean, but maybe they haven't. That's attractive because men have never, they've always shied away from that. And they want this mental toughness that they don't have, you know?
Yeah, but I think there's also different ways you can achieve that mental
Oh,
toughness. I don't think you need to
absolutely.
I don't think you need to spend thousands of dollars to have some dude just yell in your face. I mean, if you want that, just join the military and go get the full experience there. But even
Yeah.
then, I don't think they just sit there and yell in your face. I think it's a very, I mean, it's still like a business, especially like special warfare wise. They're not gonna just sit there and yell at you the whole time, but.
No, I get to a point where you don't, but there's definitely some, it's a very masculine. I mean, a lot of people would be offended. A lot of people that are crying out the toxic masculinity would be pretty offended hanging around with a bunch of, you know, special forces guys.
Well, it's a different environment, I can
I mean,
assume.
they would with a bunch of guys in a locker room in a football field too. They don't understand, you know, there's just, it's just, it's just a little bit different where the response from men is just not what you think it would be, right? But even playing football, to be willing to get out there and hit somebody and do it with another guy and kind of do your part and everything, it takes some sort of, you know, some people think that's horrible and would say that's toxic masculinity. I mean, to be honest, nowadays, and that's why I wonder, I mean, uh, you know, what about what would they think of Jesus, right? I know we don't need to bring it religious, but would they say that Jesus was a toxic masculine man?
Which is seems so wrong even just hearing
I'm
that.
just That's a question. That's my question.
Oh, is Jesus a toxic
Would
masculine?
Yeah, would he have been today considered toxic masculine man? He absolutely, to the Pharisees, they thought he was a toxic masculine man. They were afraid of him. Like if he said, "Hey, don't do this on Sunday," he went and did everything. He blessed people's lives on Sunday. He
Well,
did the
that's the big
exact opposite.
distinction I would say there. So that's the big difference there is a lot of toxic masculine men today, it's all about them. Well, Jesus, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go heal this guy. Oh, you tell me I can't do that? I'm going to go heal him anyways because I don't care what you say."
Right.
That's very different like approaches. So to some people, I would say yes, he would probably be considered a toxic masculine man. But overall, I doubt that would last very long because if, let's say, social media was around at that time, and people are like, "Oh, Jesus, this guy named Jesus is going against the Jews, and he's saying, oh, you said I can only take a certain amount of steps, or I'm not allowed to do this on the Sabbath. Well, I don't care what you said. I'm gonna go, heal this guy." Like that's people are gonna be like, "Oh wow, that's so
Right.
whatever of
Yeah.
him."
I mean, he went against all the norms of society, though. He went and talked to, like, the lady at the well was basically a prostitute, and anybody in their right mind, a man alone, would not have talked to a woman like that and given her, I mean, there's everything he did was against the norm of society. I mean, and he got physical the one time, right? He
True.
threw people out of the temple. That's pretty toxic.
And drew a whip.
Yeah, drew a whip. Um, you know, I mean, I mean, Was Jesus toxic masculinity? That's my question.
Well, as a religious person, I would say no, obviously. But and I feel like a lot of people would agree with that statement. But
Yeah, I mean, and that's if he was, then, that's the way I want to be too. Then they can call me that, right?
yeah.
Um,
So yeah.
if he was, because he was so caring to everybody, but he wasn't afraid to stand up. He always did the right thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of said before, real masculinity. And right now, I think there's a line that all the stuff, I think in Christianity, that Jesus has been dumbed down to just someone that was a pacifist that just loved everybody, and he did, but he was just, I'm sorry, um and he that was not him. I mean, the
He was
dude,
very unapologetic if you actually read the scriptures.
yeah, he's the son of God, and he was so powerful. But yet, I mean, it's not like he went around. I mean, he basically, if people asked him, he's like, I am who you think I am." I mean, he didn't deny it, right? But
True.
he's in a different category, obviously, because he's the son of God. But he should be the standard for what we're looking for. But again, I think even Christianity and religion has dumbed him down to less masculine. They don't like to teach the, they don't like to hear about that stuff.
Yeah. No, I think there's definitely I believe that too. Josh, do you have anything to kind of pitch in on this whole toxic masculinity rant we went off on?
Um, you guys got it all.
Yeah. Well, other than Jesus, I thought would be who I think is a good representation in like film relatively recently of a good masculine man is. Um,
Let me
so
guess.
yeah, go ahead, Dad. Guess who it is.
Is it a Netflix movie that's coming on that is well, not movie, a series that's actually, it's not Netflix, but it's a series. Is it The Terminalist Dude?
Oh no, it's not. It's not James Reese. No, I love
Is
those
it is
books.
it is it The Equalizer?
No, it's not any of those guys. Um,
John Wick?
no, no, those are just violent men. Um, no, it's not them.
Oh,
This I'll show you right now. So this is who I think is a good representation of what it means to be a masculine man.
okay.
So
Oh, there.
What do you want?
A little more caution from you. That is no trinket you carry.
I carry.
to a few of these.
Oh, it's pretty violent, Noah.
Yeah.
Of Gondor. Anduril, flame of the west, forged from the shards of Narsil.
So, anyways, good old Aragorn is by far the best modern example, I think,
Of masculinity or toxic masculinity.
of masculinity, for sure. The
Yeah, but
reason I say that though is because he's, well, one, you know, he's very humble, obviously, because he's meant to be the king, but he has no desire to actually be the king. Two, he is always protecting those around him and is willing to do all that he can to help them in any way that he can. So yeah, I think if you're not religious and you're looking for a good example of who a masculine man is, you should look to Aragorn.
How about you, Josh? Anybody in the sports world that you would say is a good example of masculinity?
Mm,
Or who do you look up to, Josh? Let's say that.
uh, mm, I don't know. Uh,
How about is there somebody that you like the way he plays football, for example?
well, the person I was thinking of or was gonna say, uh, his name's Ryder Lyons. He's the number one quarterback in the country. He's like literally really good at what he does in football, but like outside of football, he's like a really good person. Like he's always like taking care of like his family or friends or whatever, and it's like I don't know, a good person outside of what he does, which is football. And
So you guys know I'm a big BYU fan. That may hurt me or not, but um, the there's a new there's two new brothers that are starting on the team, and one's name is Bear, and the other's name is Tiger. That's what their dad gave them no names, and one's going to be the starting quarterback as a freshman, and the other one's like a receiver. They both came from Stanford, but you gotta love the toxic masculinity names, right? Bear and Tiger.
Yeah,
I think they're cool.
that's funny. Yeah, I think when it comes down to just what masculinity is, it's just the willingness to step up when you're needed to. I think that's what it, in my mind, boils down to.
So both of your names. So me as a dad, Noah was named after a guy in the Bible that was a masculine man. He was.
He had some
That's
problems, but well, that's okay.
he had some problems, but I mean, in general, um, he was. I mean, in today's standards, he would be considered obviously toxic, but in the end, he did some stuff obviously that God. And Joshua's the same way. You're named after a guy in the Bible that was, you know, did some pretty amazing things and led army. I mean, that's hoping that you would both want to be men of God and men of, you know, stand up men. My parents named me after someone that was, you know, went and kind of fought for his religion and was even though it, and fought for other people. And that's where I got my name, Stephen Douglas. So it's kind of, when guys pass on names to sons and stuff, there's some of that meaning behind it, right? I mean, there's that, hey, calling you out to be, you know, someone that, has confidence in himself one day and loves the Lord and loves and is good to women and just is happy. That's what you want, right? And I think that the big thing with most men, if you're happy, then you're probably doing it right. You know, if you're just always angry and frustrated, then maybe there's something not going on right. Maybe you're not tapping into that masculine or whatever it is. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's just a willingness to be willing to work and when called upon, step up and do what's needed. But it's a good thing you didn't name me like Zebediah or something like that.
Zeke,
No, that was Ezekiel, but
I like that name.
yeah, it would have been cool. But Noah's still, I guess. Noah's cool too.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
But that will do it for the show today.
Good show, guys.
If you enjoyed the show, like and subscribe.
Get outside, pump the weights, and we'll see you next time.